right. Ryan, it's coming, bro. Just give me a little bit more time. I need to make sure that video is done right, because I've had this video on my mind for far too long. All right, I'm getting tired of sitting on this because it's every time I listen to this album, it pisses me off. For those of you who don't know, Anthony Fantano, aka the Needle Drop, he's like a music nerd, whatever, bro. But he's known for having some good takes and then some really, really, really bad takes. Usually, I don't really care. People's opinions don't get to me the way that it gets to some people. It's just like, sometimes when you have one of the worst takes possible on something, it's hard for you to not get upset. To better understand where I'm coming from, let's just watch this video, man. Look, I mean, come on. Look at that face. If you don't know about now, Zilla Kami, he had a debut album called Dog Boy. If you don't know who he is, if you know who City Morgue was, he was in City Morgue, but I think they're officially done. Thank you. I think he's working on his next album. At least I hope so. But this album right here, it came out in 2021, and it was by far one of my favorite albums of the year. It mixes like rock and rap, but in a way that's like, to me personally, it's like almost nostalgic. And you know how people get when like nostalgic stuff is involved, like obviously they're a little bit more biased. So maybe I'm just missing something here, but when this video was uploaded, it was right before dislikes were taken off. As you can see, I disliked the video, but this was right before they took dislikes off, right? And the ratio, I wish I still had a screenshot. I wonder if we could do like the time machine thing and see the dislikes. Oh man. Yeah, I can't archive it. I don't really know how that works either.
Hi everyone, Clap the Knee Trap Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Fusions of hip-hop and rock are really popular right now in the underground, and
yeah, but not in ways that are not only mainstream working, but also just collectively bringing that nostalgic sound while also sounding new.
Zilla as one,
and maybe I'm just not tapped in to other artists that are doing so.
The trap metal duo City Morgue has been one of the
City Morgue sucks.
Biggest and most consistent names in that lane for a while now. But I still went into Dog Boy pretty skeptical. Like, for as celebrated as City Morgue is, their sound doesn't exactly expand upon these fusions of trap and metal and punk super
well, that's what Zilla's trying to do.
Creatively. Their two major studio albums so far have been pretty one-dimensional.
I don't want to shit on Mula, but like basically, man, I just don't think that duo should work. I think Zilla has his own envisionment and way to express that, which is, in my opinion, very evident in Dog Boy, that he wants to keep expanding on. But in order to do that, it's hard if you're making a collab album, or not a collab album, but like a collective group album, because you both have to be in agreement with that. So I think that it's kind of been holding him back.
Dog Boy's biggest problem is honestly execution. Some of the basic ideas going into this LP may be fine, but little to none of them are done well. The production's painfully basic, boring, and sometimes just straight.
But that is like, I don't understand, like, that is the backbone of punk rock in that sort of era. Like, it's not anything crazy, or it's not, like, the production and stuff like that is very basic stuff. Like, even with major hits, like, it's not crazy.
Or generic Nirvana rip-off riff, loop that over a kind of plain beat.
Okay, I get that that some things would be rip-off of other things, but regardless, the vocals, bro. The vocals make it stand out alone more than the production ever should.
Flows with a vocal delivery that's kind of raspy, sort of screaming but not quite. Bam, and there you have the basic premise for like 90% of the songs here, which I guess would be fine if I felt like it were being done competently. On the song Chewing Gum, the opening to this record,
that song's a banger! You want to complain how simple this album is, but then anything that differentiates it and makes it different, you shit on? How does that make sense, bro?
The lyrics on this project are no edgier or deeper than something you might find on like a Papa Roach record or a Limp.
Nah. See, that's
Biscuit record or more
The disrespect, man. The disrespect.
And look, this project may be totally authentic in its feelings of rage and depression, but
I do appreciate he says that, but what? But what, man?
depth to which any of those are explored or displayed.
Dude, okay, first off, it's a debut album.
And that's that we're seeing another generation of artists here since Nirvana and Kurt Cobain totally changed the trajectory of rock music, completely missing the point. It's like the focus is just not anywhere near trying to appreciate him in the abstract or understand what made him creatively a force.
Okay, I get this argument. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, what is wrong with taking ideas and doing your own twist to them? Like, I get it that it may not be on the same caliber of standout-ish and whatnot, but that is, like, music in general, people will remix it and make it their own. Like, some of your top artists, that is all they do. But I don't know.
And on top of it, doesn't even repurpose them well or tastefully. Because for something that's...
I don't agree. I agree that it is very simple. Yes. But in a way that is not good? It's hard for me to comprehend.
So obvious.
Maybe I'm just basic in that sense, and maybe that's my problem, and I'm not cultured with older rock, but I don't know if he's trying to appeal to old heads, man. I think he's trying to appeal to youngins that don't know Nirvana, that don't know any of these legends.
To the point,
does it make you mad that he's maybe getting credit for these simple I don't... We won't go there.
The riffs on this thing just border on plagiarism. Yeah, despite that, this project isn't very...
Music in general is plagiarism. I don't care, bro. No one is really original, and if you're too original, then it sucks. See, yeah, if it wasn't for his vocals, I would not be gassing this album up so much, but I just think that the vocals complements it in a way that hasn't really been done before. I mean, I'm sure that there's other artists that have made similar music that I'm not aware of, but as far as a more mainstream level or more popularity-wise, I mean, Zilla's killing it. Like, I think that what he's able to bring to the table with this sort of genre of music is unmatched. Like, I think that he has a lot more room to work with here. Give him 5 years, give him 10 years. I mean, if he continues working with this, I think he can make some pretty crazy records.
And again, which is why I was sort of blown away by most of these tracks ending as abruptly as they do. I mean, I know
they end as abruptly as they do. Like, that is the style. He's coming from like, hip-hop in general makes 2-minute songs, bro. It's like, it's just how, it's where the culture has shifted to. And so it's like, you have your modern hit, like, parts hitting it, and, like, I just think that he doesn't like that.
Underground rock music,
which is okay. It's his opinion. I get it, but I'm just saying.
And punk music has a history of just kind of dishing out short songs, stuff like that. But much of the time, as these songs...
Just that, but like rap in general too, though. Like rap, Zilla comes from a place of rap. Like that's...
Brought to a close, I'm just kind of left thinking, that's it? Look, overall, Dog Boy, I don't think this record brings much to the table in terms of production, vocals, songwriting, anything. Dude. I would rather listen to City Morgue. I would rather listen to the...
That's how I know you're trolling. You would rather...
of bands that are very blatantly being ripped off. The Denzel Curry and Uzi features were pretty deep.
That Denzel song, like, I don't, like, it is one of the top songs, but that Denzel Curry song is incredible.
Decent, but outside of that, I really have nothing else positive to say about this record. Until something else undercuts it, this has to be the most uninspired and pointless trap metal project.
That is what gets me, bro. This is how he finishes it. Hold on, let's rewind this. This is how he finishes this.
Something else undercuts it. This has to be the most uninspired and pointless trap metal project I've heard this year. Feeling a strong 1 to a light 2.
1 to a light 2. I wish you guys could see the dislikes on here. Let's read some of these comments. I'm glad so many people disagree with this rating. Zilla's great on this album. Agreed. Call me crazy, but I don't think Zilla's intentions with this album were to impress Anthony and Fantano. Well, yeah, I hope it's not anyone's intentions to do that. They should just do what they want to do. If it's an emo rap album and Melon hates it, it's probably going to be a classic. I think that that's one of the best well-said comments on this. This is one of the better albums of 2021. I can't believe Certified Lover Boy got a higher score. Certified Lover Boy was awful. one of the worst Drake albums I've ever heard in my entire life. If you didn't like Space Cowboy, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Fact. Sorry, Fantano, I've already formed my opinion on this album. I'm a real emo rebel. I disagree strongly with Anthony on this. I thought it was a very strong album, even though it seemed disjointed and rough, which I think adds to the aesthetic. Facts. I loved it. It's not perfect, but it's still great. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I agree. I don't think that it was anything like super crazy and revolutionary, but I think that it was a very solid debut album to a genre that needs to have more people working on it. Like, you had Trippie Redd sort of do his era with was it Pegasus? And I don't know about y'all, like, it was cool, but like it didn't really hit the way that older pop punk songs used to hit. And it's like, for me, Zilla's album really encompassed that, but in a new way with these vocals. And maybe it was just a blatant ripoff of old riffs and whatnot, but I think that it's still an amazing start compared to a lot of other people that are trying to break into the genre. And I think for a lot of people that started listening to punk rock like early on, and then transitioned into rap, and then but also still have that love for it, I think that artists like Zilla are bridging that gap, and it's done in a beautiful way. And to be honest, it just seems kind of unfair to compare this to Cobain or Nirvana. When most of the critics on the album are, it's not as good as these other bands, it's hard to take seriously, especially when, again, it's a trap album. Yes. Also pretty trash to call someone's album pointless. For real, man. Like, I don't, like, it's like, he's just mad in this thing. And, you know, I get it with the Nav and, like, the Logic albums and all that, but come on, bro. Dude, I don't know how this is a tube. Been bumping this since it came out. I will agree that some songs are short and wish they were longer, or the album had more tracks, but it's a solid record. I'd give it at least a 7.5 to an 8. And to be a little bit more reasonable without the bias, I mean, this guy says it well. I mean, he's a massive Zilla fan, and to be honest, some of his talking points were kind of facts. I'm not denying it, but it's like just the hatred and the fire he came with this one. It was just like trying to tear him down when it's like, for the first time in a while, I think a lot of people are getting a taste of what they really want more artists to do, that are like, that come from like a trap background, but also can relate to that pop punk and rock sort of air, and just combine the two. All right, I will say I haven't really seen all of Anthony Fantano's reviews and stuff like that, so he might have some worse ratings or takes out there, but this by far was the one that I was most surprised about. I typically will watch his ones on like top videos and stuff like that, or like albums I specifically like, just to see, because I know I can be a little bit biased sometimes, so I always like to see someone else's opinion. And Anthony he's able to describe music in a way that I think is super cool. Like I oftentimes lack describing sounds, just music in general. And so I really do like that Anthony does what he does, because it helps elaborate a little bit better on issues. But man, does he piss me off, bro. How could you get that too? If you haven't, bro, go listen to this album. Just in case anyone cares, I clicked on this video because they like Zilla. My favorite song, I know I said Bleach was my favorite song. This is so hard, bro. I really like Black Cats. Dead Girl's good. Dude, honestly, like, this whole album, there's no, like, skip. Like, I think every song bangs. And, like, the beginning line, dude.
This is Corey Taylor, and you're tuning in to Dog Boy Radio.
That's so hard, bro. That is, like, that intro to an album is so hard. But maybe my least favorite is this one. No, I like that one. Maybe Nissan Only. See, I say that, but this song bangs too. In the back and she gon' top off the crew. Yeah, button with the notches when I'm in hot pursuit. I like this. I get it, maybe the production, but the vocals, like how he's expressing himself, man, nowhere near the same. Am I just forsaken? Ready to bust my load because I do not have no patience. Calling on my phone is going straight up to the tone. Like I'm stuck in danger in the Paris catacombs. But like, I don't really make videos about music on this channel. I actually have a second channel that I want to strictly kind of do music on. But like, I'm just like, this is a video that I've been wanting to make for so long. People like this video. I can do a little bit more in depth on the Zilla album and why I think it's actually probably one of the best albums of 2021, if not top 5. Obviously, this is bias. It is what it is, man.